long as the Titans are winning, I don't care.
They're not going to win tonight.
They will win. They're going to dump Mayo down Kenny Pickett's throat.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the lunch table. My name is Evan. Today I'm joined with Nick, Zach, and Lucas. Lucas is back. And yeah, we got another football episode for you guys, talking some, week 8 action, week 9 predictions. We'll be breaking down all the games from top to bottom, letting you know what we thought about them and what we think is going to happen next week. And yeah, before we begin, make sure to like this video and subscribe if you enjoy, and to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at lunchtable.takes. And we'll start the episode off talking Thursday night football. We had the Bills and the Bucks going up against each other. 24-18, Bills came up with the win. Who wants to start us off about the Bills game?
This was an interesting game. It wasn't my favorite football game that I've ever seen, but the Buccaneers, I thought, were pretty bad, honestly. They got Rachaad White going a little bit, mostly through the air because they can't run the ball still for some reason. The Bills completely took away Mike Evans, which I was really surprised about. I mean, he still scored his touchdown.
Yeah, he caught a garbage time touchdown, but
he did. But for the most part, the dude played the entire game until like the last drive or two with literally one catch for like 7 yards. So they completely took him out of the game, which was pretty impressive. But yeah, I don't really think the Bills are. They didn't like neither the Bills did not overly impress me. But yeah.
The Bills' inconsistencies continue. 1 week they beat the Commanders by 34, and then they beat the Giants on a missed PI call and then lose to the Patriots. We said this at the beginning of the year, the Bills had to get a run game going, and it has been improved, but it's still not where you would like, and Josh Allen is still like their second leading rusher. And really, if Chris Godwin had been a little more aware on that Hail Mary, the Bills may have actually lost this game.
That's true.
Was just kind of a weird football game. I don't think the Bucs are that good. I think they're kind of starting to show who they truly are. Baker Mayfield has played better than I thought he would going into this season, but I mean, it's not good enough to overcome some of the deficiencies that they have, like you alluded to, their lack of run game.
Yeah.
But I'm still waiting for this Bills team to put up. They beat the Dolphins by 28. This is what I'm talking about. They beat Miami by 28 points and then barely beat the Giants and lose to the Patriots.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
And it seems like it's the same story every year with them. They're incredibly inconsistent.
That's why I was saying earlier in the season that I wasn't really impressed with the Bills beating the Dolphins by 90 points, because it's like they always do this, and then as the season goes along, it's just like they're always spiking, and they don't really do anything in the post.
They just play their competition.
Yeah,
they do. They do.
At this point with them, it's about what they do in January and beyond.
Yeah, because
they got to get there.
They do have to get there, but I don't see a reason why they shouldn't.
They have already matched their loss total from last season, and we're only in week 9.
Yeah, we'll see, but it's just a weird football game. The Bucs just have more, not the Bucs. The Bills just have more talent. That's kind of what did it at the end for me.
I mean, I don't even know if I would say that, to be honest with you. I think it's just they have Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs.
Yeah,
because the Buccaneers have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and whether they do effectively run the ball or not, Rachaad White is still a very talented running back. They got pretty much the same defense they had when they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but they're all a little bit older,
They're a little older, but like
it comes down to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the quarterback is the real issue here. But like
it's a massive gap.
Yeah, altogether though, I feel like it's more so just the Bills have Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think the Bills are just a better team overall, top to bottom. But
yeah.
The Buccaneers do need to get a run game going, though. Like, you can't have Baker Mayfield as your quarterback and not have an effective run game. I don't understand why they can't run the ball. They couldn't run the ball when they had Tom Brady either, but it was okay because they had Tom Brady. But now that they have Baker Mayfield,
and that defense was loaded. That defense was nuts.
defense.
Okay, but at 2-3 years ago, they all of them were
on
either
their
young
primes.
or in their prime. Now they're
Yeah,
all a
but-
little bit older or off the team.
Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. I think they're still a pretty solid team from top to bottom, except for the quarterback position. But the Buccaneers have never been able to never. They have not effectively ran the ball in the past couple of years, and having Tom Brady, that's fine. Because Tom Brady can win you a game himself single-handedly. Well, not single-handedly, but you get my point. Baker Mayfield, you have to be able to run the ball, and I don't know why they can't run the ball. I just don't even know why
Their
Like-
O-line's not great. It's been banged up the past couple seasons.
Yeah, they might be banged up. They do have one of the best young tackles, though, Wirfs.
Yeah, but outside of that, I know their center's he's missed 2 straight years with injuries. And
Yeah,
the rest of their
Well,
O-line is
they
kind of
lost. Alex Kappa left. They did get their center back, but like you said, he's been injured. So their offensive line is kind of a shell of what it was when they won the Super Bowl, and even the year after they won the Super Bowl. But I just you got to figure out a run game. Rachaad White is a good, talented running back, and with Baker Mayfield, you got to run the ball.
Yeah. I think my biggest takeaway from this game was just the emergence of Dalton Kincaid, with Dawson Knox being on IR. Kincaid's been getting a bulk of those, or he's been getting all of those tight end minutes, and he's been producing. I mean, this game he had five catches on 7 targets for 65 yards and a touchdown, and the week prior against New England, he was 8 for 8 with 75 yards. So he's been really productive and has been showing why he was highly touted coming out of the draft, and was getting comparisons to guys like Travis Kelce with his route running and his ability to get open as a receiver. And I think he's been really impressive, and it just adds another weapon to what the Bills already have, obviously with Josh Allen and his dual threat ability. And then you have Stephon Diggs, who, when him and Allen are hitting, they're one of the best quarterback wide receiver duos in the league. And you got Gabe Davis too, had a huge game this week. He had a touchdown and 87 yards, one of his couple games this season where he just kind of pops off. So I think Dalton Kincaid brings another aspect to that defense. I think it's huge to, like you guys said, they have a good offense when they're hitting, but they're not always consistent with it. And I think Dalton Kincaid can kind of help them be a little bit more consistent, because I think as it stands right now, I think he's better than Dawson Knox as a time.
Yeah, I think he's definitely better than Dawson Knox. I think Dalton Kincaid was probably the best tight end of the class, honestly. Right? I mean, he just had some injury concerns.
Laporta.
Well, but was Laporta at the time of the draft considered the best prospect?
Well, what is Michael? No, Mayer. Yeah, I'd say Michael Mayer at the time.
Yeah,
I don't know. Either way, Dalton. I just remember that Dalton Kincaid, he.
No, yeah, he was up there.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
he was 1 or 2.
Probably the best, but I mean, point being is that I think Dalton Kincaid is a excellent weapon to add, because honestly, even the last year or two, it's been Allen and Diggs, and like you just said, when they're hitting, they're great. But they don't really have anyone else. Gabe Davis is the definition of an inconsistent receiver, and they don't have anybody else. They're running, they don't run the ball very well, and they don't really have any other weapons, honestly. So it's good that they have Dalton Kincaid. It adds a little bit to the room here.
Should have been on the Bengals.
He should have been on the Bengals. The Bengals botched that first round pick bad.
He wasn't there. He got picked before, right?
Yes, he did, actually. He did. He got picked a couple picks before, you're right. But they still botched that first round pick, though.
Irv Smith's the answer.
Oh, yeah.
Lucas, you have anything to add?
Not too much about this game, just that the Bills just play their competition. And that is not good. This is why they don't win anything in the playoffs. And until they prove that that's the case, then I'm still going to believe that they're just going to be a overrated team.
They're 13-4.
The quarterback who turns the ball over way too much.
That's it. Now, see, I do think that too. Now, Nick disagrees. I don't know why, because it is a fact, but he does turn the ball over a pretty good amount.
I said that his turnover numbers were slightly skewed because he had 4 in the first game of the season and like 5 in the rest of the season, and we're halfway.
But see, here's the thing, though.
Who did they play in the first game of the year?
The Jets.
Thank you very much. Playing down your competition.
I didn't say that.
And here's the other thing. Like, he played in that game. He turned the ball over in that game. So I don't think we can say, "Oh, that game doesn't count."
I'm not saying it
Because he
doesn't count.
played, he
I'm
turned the
saying
ball.
that the entire season has been skewed. Although he has turned the ball over in 4 straight games. When I said that, he had
just
turned like
mediocre.
Yeah, he had turned the
It didn't
ball
look a
over
good
like
game.
2 times in 5 games. Now it's been 4 games in a row with a pick. So
There you go.
we'll see.
I'm not really hating on Josh Allen because I do like him. He's a great quarterback, but it is a fact that he is a little bit like loose with the football.
You'd like to see him better with the football.
You'd like to see him hold on to the ball, a little more than he does.
And he keeps coming up on the injury report, and that is due to the fact that they call like 13 design runs for him a week.
Yeah, that's true too.
I mean, you keep healthy, don't do that.
Hit there yet?
Don't talk to me about quarterback design runs.
I was gonna say Nick knows all about that.
Talk to me about that.
All right, staying
Like,
in the
at
AFC
every level,
East.
that's not the NFL. I love running the quarterback, just not in the NFL.
Oh yeah, because like all of the best quarterbacks in college right now are dual threats.
Yeah,
Other than
like
that,
I love designed quarterback runs, just not in the NFL.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough.
I'm never mind. I'm not going to say that. Continue, Evan.
We're going to stay in the AFC East here with the Dolphins beating the Patriots 31-17. Tua had a great game, went 30 for 45 with 324, 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. And it was another great game from Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle chipped in with a pretty good game himself.
All I'll point out from this game is this is exactly what I expected to happen.
Yeah, that's that's pretty much what it was.
Scored 17 points.
That's true.
That's like the biggest takeaway I got from this game.
Yeah. How did the Patriots score 17 points?
I
I don't know how
don't.
to score touchdowns.
I'm not following how Tyreek Hill is doing what he's doing. Like, it is ridiculous.
Because he's him. He's insane, and I've tried to tell you this, and you
I
are
never
not
denied
listening.
that he was insane.
Listen. Me and Chase were talking about this earlier, and it's not even that Jamar Chase has been playing bad. He's been playing really good. He's probably the second best receiver in the league this year. When you take like the first 2 games of the season, he's probably been the second best receiver in the league.
I would say Jettas and AJ Brown have been playing better.
Oh wait, no, AJ Brown.
Jefferson's not
I
in the-
completely forgot about AJ Brown. AJ Brown's been better.
Justin
but-
Jefferson hasn't played, Evan,
But Jalen Jefferson's had like
His
120
first 5
yards
weeks.
every time he's played.
but he hasn't played for a while.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
because he's hurt. But I still think when he's on the field,
They're
he's
all
better.
on the same level.
Yeah,
Besides
they're all
Tyreek Hill.
nuts.
I mean, that
Yeah,
is
they're all high
Tyreek Hill's
tier 1
above
wide
them all.
receivers.
Yeah, but Tyreek Hill has been far and away the best receiver in the league all year long.
We're not going to get into this discussion.
No,
right
we're
now.
not. We're not going to get into
But
this discussion.
Tyreek Hill is doing things that are ridiculous.
I've never been seen before on an NFL level.
I am shocked that Tua is playing at the level he's playing at after his
Yeah.
brain damage. And
I'm just shocked he's playing the way he's playing in general. I just
Yeah,
didn't think he'd
I mean,
that
that's
good.
honestly true too. I didn't think he was going to be that great, honestly. And, when he first came in, but we were both proved wrong. But the Dolphins can, like, I don't know. The Dolphins are just like here we are talking about how insane they are again. And like, I love the Dolphins. I love Mike McDaniel, like Tua, Tyreek. That's all great. But like Mike McDaniel is like my favorite coach. But they haven't really beat a good team. Like the Patriots are horrendous, and they are led by one of the worst football players in the NFL.
Mac Jones had a good game. And not a good game, but he played all right.
They
Yeah,
are
they still
horrible.
lost by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
So what,
but,
he's
you know,
Like, I mean,
They are
he
a-
sucks.
Horrible.
he went 19 of 29, 161, 2 touchdowns and a pick. I've seen a lot worse games out of quarterbacks.
161
I've
is pretty
seen a
good.
lot worse games out of him the past couple weeks.
Yeah, I don't
But-
know. We don't need to spend
What
too much
you were
time on
saying.
this game.
Yeah.
Point
The only
being-
thing I'm gonna say is Tyreek Hill and what did we just finish week 8? At the end of week
Yeah.
8, already has over 1,000 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns. So I think he's on pace for like almost 2,000 if he keeps this up.
Yeah, he's on
And
pace to
when-
break a lot of single season records.
And when the Dolphins' offense is clicking, they're one of the best offenses in the NFL. But I do agree that they have not played anybody yet. So this week against the Chiefs is going to be a big game for them to see
They did
how
play somebody.
legit or not.
I am
They played
fuming.
the Bills and got
And the
swept.
Eagles.
That's true. They did lose to the Bills and the
Well,
like, they have
I meant
played good teams, they haven't beaten them.
beat any team. That's what I meant. Yeah, I meant beat any good teams.
I am like fuming that the NFL has chosen to play this Chiefs and Dolphins game in Germany.
It was decided
this
before the season.
Should be
but
the Sun. Never mind. This should be the Monday night game. Like, I mean, come on now. Who we
Was it
got
at
on Monday
9?
night? Probably the
Monday night is Chargers Jets. That's not a terrible game either.
What is
Like,
it?
Yes, it is.
Chargers,
Chargers Jets. That's
The
not that
Chargers
bad.
are watching the Chargers
That
play
game
on
ought to be in
primetime.
Germany. They see the NFL is just really shafting people with the schedule right now. Like they need to fix this. The Chiefs and the Dolphins is like outside of the Bengals and the Bills, the game of the week, and they are playing it in another country at 9 a.m.
Yeah, this is
Hey, you'll be
great
up anyway.
NFL
So.
marketing.
I am fuming at this fact.
I will be up at 9:30 to watch that game. I think most people will be.
That
I
is
think
just
if you're not a real NFL fan.
well, what if you have this thing called church, Nick? That's what half of America has.
Well, I didn't. Oh my.
Watch it during.
Real.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, they ought to play this on Monday
Yeah.
night, is all I'm saying.
They can't just change all that on the
Well,
drop
they
of a
can't
hat.
change it now, but they should have known this going into the year that this should have been a Monday night game, not
Well,
a
they
Germany
didn't-
game.
They didn't think Aaron Rodgers was going to rupture his Achilles and Justin Herbert was going to continue to be Justin Herbert.
But they knew darn well that going into the season, the Chiefs and the Dolphins was going to be a far better game than the Chargers and whoever the heck.
Yeah, that's probably why they put it in Germany.
They
See, but
also
that's
probably got paid
They-
a crap ton of money.
Yeah,
for
they
it.
probably got paid so much money to
I
put
dis-
games in Frankfurt.
I'm angry
I don't know why you're so angry when your favorite
because
team
I want to
is like a-
watch the game.
But your favorite team is a prime. It's like a great prime time.
Yeah,
game
there's a
this
lot
Sunday.
Fantastic.
There's a lot of good
But I'm
games.
just
this
saying.
week.
All I'm saying is that this is going to be a great. Well, it might be a great game, and it should be a night game. But no, the Sunday night game needs to stay intact. I'm talking the Monday night game.
All right. Do we have anything else to comment on that
No.
game?
It's what we expected.
All right. Now, this one we'll have a lot to talk about. The Jags and the Steelers. The Jags won 20-10. Trevor Lawrence looked and Kenny Pickett got hurt, and Mitch Trubisky was garbage.
So the first couple of things that I will throw out was number one, Kenny Pickett sucks, and Mitchell Trubisky is obviously
Worse.
not going to be better.
Yeah.
Like this Steelers
Their offense sucks.
is like a brutal thing to
Painful.
watch. I would rather watch
Painful.
Batman and Robin continuously all day than watch the Steelers play offensive football. The Jags, however, in my opinion, they were also pretty bad. I thought throughout, like, I watched this entire game, and I thought that it seemed as if the Jags were trying to lose. And that made me very angry for a multitude of reasons. This was a hard game to watch. Trevor Lawrence did not – the Jags offense was just not great. The Steelers defense, yeah, they got a good defense. But, man, this was a tough game to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it was played in a monsoon. Like, I'm not going to trash on – I mean, we knew the Steelers' offense was, like, bad before this, considering they haven't been good in a go.
Abysmal, if you
Yeah,
will.
it's been really – their offense is
you will. I
unwatchable. But, I mean, you're going up against probably a top 5 defense in the league on the road in a monsoon. Like, I don't know why we're shocked that the Jags' offense didn't play that great, and they
More
still
so disappointed.
yeah, they still won the game by 2 scores. It took them a little bit to get to the 2-score mark, but like they did what they had to do, and that was win a game like that.
They did. It was just a painful.
It was just an ugly watch.
Yeah. But I mean, a win's a win in the NFL, so you got to take it. I don't really think either team played particularly well.
No, they didn't. But
yeah.
But I'm confident in saying that the Steelers are not a play. I don't think the Steelers are a playoff team.
They are absolutely not, but they might make it because
But we said that they're absolutely not last year, and they were a tiebreaker away from making it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
they are awful.
They're gonna be in the hunt the rest of the season, but their offense is unwatchable.
Like they are really bad.
Yeah, this isn't even me being biased. I've asked some of my friends who are Steelers fans, and they agree with me, saying that their offense is unwatchable.
You can't disagree. Like, this is a bad football team.
Yeah.
They have a solid defense, but man, altogether,
it's not a bad football team. They've got an elite defense and pretty good coaching, but their offense is just.
I would say this is a bad team.
Deontay Johnson and George Pickens are good receivers too.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson, first game back, looked pretty good.
Yeah, 8 catches, 85 yards.
But see, look who's throwing on the ball, though, is my thing.
Well, yeah, Kenny Pickett and Mitchell Trubisky.
I mean, that is a bad quarterback room, man. That's like a Titans level QB room.
That is a quarterback room for sure.
And they play this week. That's just going to be a heck of a QB.
Yeah, they play in about an hour at the time of recording.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh, man.
I will not be watching that game because I'm just going to be in pain watching that. How horrible both offenses
I will be watching that game because I'm a sadist and enjoy terrible football games.
I will be watching that game because we have stakes in that game. Well, Nick doesn't, but the rest of us.
I don't.
I might watch because I'm starting Will Levis in fantasy. That might be the only reason.
Yeah.
But then when the Steelers are on offense, I'll turn it off.
I will loosely. I have no desire to watch this dog crap offense try to score field goals.
It might be like an 18-12 game.
I told my
Like
dad
a 9-3 type of game.
I told my dad it would finish 21-13 Steelers and 14 of Pittsburgh points, but we're going to come off with TJ Watt strip sacks.
That's probably true.
I think we're looking at a 6-3 or a 9-3 range game here. I'm looking at all games.
3-0.
I don't think either of these two teams is going to get in the end zone tonight.
The only reason the Steelers win is because
0-0
TJ Watt gets
tie.
safety.
Yeah.
0-0
They
tie.
win. They win 2-0.
Both teams are just so bad.
No more of this game. No more of this game.
Next game.
All right, moving
No
on.
more.
Moving on to the Titans game. They played the Falcons. Will Levis had an absolute breakout game, 19 for 29, 238 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a lot of those were to DeAndre Hopkins, who had 4 catches for 128 yards and 3 touchdowns. What do you guys think of Will Levis's performance?
So
And do you think he can keep it up or no?
The first two things that I will say is, one, probably not, but he did play really well. I was impressed with Will Levis.
He played really well.
And the second thing I'm going to point out is I also thoroughly enjoyed watching Nick have a 35-point receiver on his bench.
They told me play Devontae. They said play Devontae Monday night. They said he should have had a similar stat line. If Jimmy G didn't turn into some guy from The Godfather instead of an NFL player,
He's turning to Kenny Pickett.
oh my!
He
I
turned
don't.
into Mac
This
Jones.
isn't a fantasy podcast, but don't get me started on that. Oh my! That just ended
Should
my.
we do a fantasy podcast?
I
Jimmy
think
G resembled Mac Jones level
Yeah.
of play.
Both from the Patriot Claw.
Yeah, but Will Levis played really well, and the thing that impressed me the most is that he actually threw the ball like down the field.
He
wasn't scared.
He threw bombs,
dude.
and a lot of quarterbacks, not just rookies, but a lot of quarterbacks are playing more like conservative and safe with the football, and I don't know if that's the way that they should be playing. Like, I don't like the amount of times I see quarterbacks throw checkdowns on 3rd and 11s that are 8 yards short of the stick and they don't get it instead of trying to throw it to pick up the yardage is absurd. And Will Levis threw nukes to
dude, this dude came out here and said, like, screw it, I have nothing to lose, I'm just gonna heave it.
And they were like good throws too. It's not like D-Hop had to one hand catch him or something. Like,
or lost 16 players.
He played really well against a decent football team in the Falcons.
Okay, let's not go that far.
The Falcons are winning their division. I feel like I have to call them a decent football team, at least.
That is an undecent division.
I don't know how. I mean, it's the NFC South, so, like, who really cares? But,
yeah.
I mean, the Falcons aren't that bad.
Yeah, to your point, Nick, Will Levis threw 3 touchdown passes over 30 yards, which no other quarterback in the 2023 class has done.
That's egregious.
And then also going back to what we were talking about obviously the Steelers and how egregious they are. Kenny Pickett has played 20 career games. Will Levis has played 1. Games with 2+ passing touchdown. Will Levis 1. Kenny Pickett 1.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett's not great.
It is horrible. Kenny Pickett is the butt of the NFL.
Also,
like, Kenny Pickett needs to go play football.
We're about
the
to
ball and sling it.
Yeah, that's real. We're about to talk about someone who played terrible. Desmond Ridder needs to be benched.
He did get benched
for the
he
rest
got benched
of
for Taylor Heineke.
He did get benched.
Desmond Ridder is what we thought he was going into the season. He is not good.
He might be worse than Kenny Pickett.
He's not a good quarterback.
He is worse than Kenny Pickett.
I think it goes him, Pickett, and then Jones.
Weaver, I'm going to challenge you. I want you to go one game without talking about Mac Jones. Somehow.
The challenge is accepted then.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll talk about him. I think he is the worst quarterback in the league.
Oh my God.
I don't see why Bailey's happy to
Desmond
have a
Ridder?
starting job.
We aren't even talking about the Patriots anymore.
Bijan got his first rushing touchdown. I'm going to be honest. I'm looking at the stats.
Took him 9
right
weeks to get his first rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
They
They had a couple receiving touchdowns.
I hate.
Yeah, he's had some receiving ones though.
I hate Arthur Smith so much.
Yeah, dude, Arthur Smith is the worst coach in the
He's a
NFL.
moron. He just doesn't use his players.
Yeah,
I'm so glad that you agree with me now. The dude has spectacular weapons and doesn't use them. I can't believe he is employed.
I'm looking at the stats right now. Kadarrell Hodge is their leading receiver. I don't know who that is.
No, I've
That's
never
what
heard
I'm
of him.
saying.
I
Why the
like,
heck is this guy their leading receiver?
I don't know who this is. This might be me being a casual, but like
I've never heard of him.
I don't know who Kadarrell Hodge is.
I don't know, but why the heck is this guy their leading receiver when they have Drake London and Kyle Pitts?
Yeah, and Van Jefferson too.
Like,
Who was
dude,
good with the Rams.
he is a awful coach. Like, it's really bad.
Yes, we know how you feel here.
I think I'm not quite sure how sustainable I think this game was more so that there was no film on Will Levis like in regular season, so teams didn't know really what to look for. I think that the Steelers and the Titans' future opponents are going to adjust better. But if Will Levis keeps this up for a couple weeks, some Will Levis over Anthony Richardson narratives are going to start, and I'm not going to be ready for that.
It's already started.
Well, but that's not true right now. Like, I don't feel the need to have to defend that because I think it's dumb.
I think you should defend it.
No, there's no need to right now.
I think Will Levis reminds me of Drew Brees.
Yeah, all right. If you say so.
How would you feel about that, Nick, if you passed up on the next Drew Brees?
I probably will happen.
Or some dude that might not be in the NFL by that time.
It might.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's how it will.
Probably what's going to end up happening because, is what it is.
Anthony Richardson was having a really good year, though. So
yeah, he was balling out.
But I said every single week that he's running too much and he's going to get hurt.
It's not his fault.
It's good design
yeah,
quarterback
it-
run.
They designed
Hold
8
on.
QB runs a game for him.
learn
And
how to slide.
it's
Exactly.
not even like that. It wasn't even that half the time.
I mean, if he slid, he'd be fine. He'd still be playing every week.
That's what I'm thinking too.
All right, next
We
game.
got that's actually a great segue. Speaking of first round quarterbacks, we had the number 2 and the number 1 overall pick go up against each other, and the Panthers and the Texans, and the Panthers ended up winning. Bryce Young got his first career win. He was very excited about that.
What's a bad football this week?
Yeah, this was
Yeah,
so
this
bad.
was,
I am not ready for Set and all the other Alabama football fans to hop on the train of Bryce Young's better than CJ Stroud.
No, that's not
It's
happening.
absurd.
I don't think anybody's ever going to.
Bryce Young did play better than CJ
Oh,
Stroud.
somebody
this
is
game.
Lucas, and we know him.
he's also
No.
known for his hot takes. Really.
Well, he's also known for thinking Justin Herbert's like the next greatest player ever, and
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I'm not going to comment any further on that. But this was a terrible game. I don't like how the heck did the Texans not win this game? The Panthers are an embarrassment to the NFL right now. Like, how in the world did CJ Stroud and the Texans lose this game? Like, I don't care what you say. Like, Bryce Young, I do not believe has been playing great football right now.
No, that was the best
He
team
had-
he's played.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I was honestly really surprised the Panthers won this game.
yeah, I thought it was going to be a 2-score game.
Yeah. I mean, because the Texans aren't terrible this year. Like, they're not good, but they aren't, like, the worst team in the league like we were accustomed to.
They're competent this year.
Yeah, exactly. So I figured they would be able to beat an incompetent team. But I guess, something went wrong. I don't know what happened.
Hey, in the NFL, any team can win
Yeah.
any day.
It's
That
true.
is true.
It's true. And I do like that about the NFL. I just, I don't know. I just thought the Texans were going to be able to take this one. But, it's the NFL.
Also,
Are we-
Miles Sanders only had 2 carries.
Yeah, what in the world? Also, are we questioning Frank Reich
Yes.
as the head coach?
Yeah. Well, he just got hired, but a
You
lot of
have
the reason
to.
why Bryce Young wasn't playing well is because of his offense. And
He also just got fired from the Colts.
Yeah,
So,
I-
are we questioning him coaching wise? Is that a thing?
I think we still have to give him time, but I've seen
It's a
all about this
discussion.
offense.
Yeah.
That's a
Well,
Colts
one
fan.
game.
I know all about this. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just interesting because it's like the dude has only won one game and who knows how long.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game was really bad to watch as well. CJ Stroud did not play great. The Texans lost to a winless team. Bryce Young had 230 yards and a touchdown. It's all right. And his touchdown was to Tommy Tremble. Shout out Tommy Tremble. Although I am going to give Adam Thielen his flowers because he has been doing really well.
Great.
Yeah.
I don't think it's had a good season.
He's been doing really well.
Yeah. This game was
Bad. All right, we'll move on to the next game. This was another kind of very one-sided game, very hard to watch if you like one team. But the Cowboys won 43-20. Dak Prescott played his best game this year. The Rams offense got absolutely shut down by the Cowboys defense. And Matthew Stafford got hurt. He hurt his thumb, and he very well could go on IR. So that could be disastrous for the Rams.
The Cowboys are just confusing.
that's one way to say it.
I don't know what else to say. Like 1 week they'll look like they're the best team ever, and then the next week they lose and look like they're just incompetent.
Yeah, I don't.
And
Yeah,
if they need to get Tony Pollard going because Dak Prescott isn't going to carry him.
yeah. I'm not really huge on the Cowboys. I don't understand how they're just blowing these teams out of the water and then they proceed to get blown out of the water. And I would be very not shocked if they make it to the playoffs and they lose. Like, this is just, it happens every year. This is literally the Dallas Cowboys. I just can't believe the amount of times they've blown people out this year. Like, how the heck is that even happening in the NFL?
Their defense is insane.
Okay, that's great. They're probably going to lose to the 49ers in the playoffs. Like,
I mean, we'll see. The Niners aren't looking too great right now.
Or those old them old
That's
Eagles.
something we'll talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I thought, I'm not going to say anything negatives about the Cowboys. They were up 33-3 with like a minute left in the first half. They blew the ever-loving crap out of the LA Rams. It was not close from like the first possession of the game.
Yeah.
I do agree that this kind of happens every year. I am higher on the Cowboys. I think they are a legitimate Super Bowl contender, but I just need Dak Prescott to show up in the postseason, and I don't know. That's never happened. So,
and it probably
It never will.
yeah, it probably won't happen again this year. But if it does, I will not be surprised at all because I do think the rest of that team outside of Dak Prescott is absolutely Super Bowl level.
I won't disagree about
I
that.
agree.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
And the head coach. People don't give the head coach enough crap, but their head
Mike
coach,
McCarthy
I'm blanking
sucks.
on his name right now, but I know he used to
Mike
be the Packers.
McCarthy.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy. He
Yeah,
sucks.
he got carried by Aaron Rodgers for the better part of a decade.
Yeah, he sucks.
I mean, you gotta think he had one of the greatest teams ever, and he only won one Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's not a great head coach either. And I feel like, no, it's not even. In the postseason, your two most important parts are quarterback play and head coach. Like, that is what
think
wins.
they need to bring back Jason Garrett, and they'll be good.
No,
Yeah.
Jason Garrett was as bad as Mike McCarthy.
well, they got to figure something out.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll see. It's Super Bowl or bust for them at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
I would agree with that.
Like, they absolutely have the talent to make a deep playoff run. It's just, will they? And they haven't since Tupac was alive. So, like, I don't know what's going to happen. They'll probably lose to, like, the Niners or the Eagles or, like, the Lions. If they lost to the Lions in the postseason, that'd be hilarious.
That would be
super.
That would be so funny.
But,
But
like, if you're the Rams, though, how the heck does this happen? Like, the Rams aren't, like, as bad this year as they were last year. Like, I feel like the Rams aren't, like, a horrible team.
They just couldn't move the ball.
yeah, they couldn't get anything going in the first half.
And, like, Kyron Williams on the IR certainly doesn't help things. But, like, come on, man.
I actually think that's been one of the bigger reasons for their, like, lack of good play is because they don't have as consistent of a running game without Kyron Williams.
True.
Yeah, but, like, to get blown out that badly, though, is inexcusable.
Yeah, it was rough. They didn't get off the team bus.
I mean, come on now.
They picked it up a little bit in the second half, but by that point the game was already over. So like
that was just awful. And Matt Stafford going down, I don't know, man. We might be nearing the end of his career. But I'm kind of excited to see Stetson Bennett though.
Stetson's not with the team right now.
He's what?
He's not with the team
He's
right
not
now.
with the team. He's dealing with drug issues.
Yeah.
Of course he is.
He got this.
Who could have
got
possibly seen this coming?
He got dismissed like
right.
before the season started.
Yeah. It's Brett.
So they're starting.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
Brett Rippon's our quarterback.
Oh dear heavens! So the Rams are definitely screwed. Why did they? Stetson Bennett was crossfaded the day after the national championship on national television. Why did they draft him?
I said it at the time. I fully agree with you. I don't know why he got drafted.
But I mean, okay, whatever. Never mind. The Rams are done until further notice. Until Kyron Williams is off the IR.
Yeah. CD Lamb looked like himself.
Yeah, because of course he
14
did.
targets, 12 catches.
Of course he did after I trade him away.
Oh, hey, Nick,
Yeah,
by the way, I had a
thanks-
against you this week.
Thanks for that, Nick. That helped a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
but I will say,
CD Lamb
DeAndre-
shafted Nick this week in both leagues.
but hey, DeAndre Swift and Garrett Wilson are really good weeks.
Yeah, that's not even the problem. DeAndre Swift, Garrett Wilson, and Amari Cooper all had like 16 points each.
Amari
It's
Cooper
just, it's just that CeeDee Lamb went nuclear, and Joe Mixon also had 20 points. So, because of course they did when I trade them away in a must-win game. And then Devontae Adams gets 2 points because Jimmy don't want it. I'll go on my Raiders rant here in about probably 30 minutes. But
30 minutes?
Yeah, we have like 8 games to talk about still. There was a lot of football on this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This next game I think is an interesting one to talk about for a multitude of reasons. It's the Vikings and the Packers. The Packers lost 24-10. The Vikings ended up winning, but sadly, Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles and is out for the rest of the season. Which is very, very disappointing, very sad. But I'm going to start off by talking about the Packers for a minute. The Packers have a lot of question marks on offense. That's for sure. Brian, Jordan Love.
They don't have not a question mark.
Yeah, Jordan Love has not been what we thought he could be. First couple weeks, he was on fire. Since then, he has been awful. He has 11 touchdowns in the season and 9 picks, so almost evening out the touchdown to interception ratio, which is not great. The run game is atrocious. Aaron Jones can't get anything, and A.J. Dillon's just as bad. Christian Watson doesn't get the ball. And outside of Christian Watson, it's like Romeo Doubs who will get a touchdown, but isn't much of a yards guy. And their best receiver was Jaden Reed, who I think is fairly good, but their offense is just horrible. Like, they can't move the ball at all. And the Vikings, their defense has been playing better, but their defense is not elite by any measure. And they only put up 10 points against them. Like, their offense, they have some serious questions on offense. And I don't know if that's Jordan Love or if that's the offensive coordinator or what, but they need to go back to the drawing board and figure some stuff out. Because they got some talented guys like Watson, Aaron Jones, and guys like that, like guys who I think are pretty good weapons, but they just have not been able to produce. And especially when the team you're playing like has as big of a moral hit to like they had when Kirk Cousins went down, you have to capitalize on that. They didn't. They got smoked.
Yeah, I think you pretty much hit it.
Yeah.
Packers are disappointing. Yeah. I was very, very disappointed about Kirk Cousins, though. That sucks.
Yeah, that made me sad. I've never been a big Kirk Cousins guy, but
I am a Kirk Cousins guy.
Yeah, he's been playing the best football of his career, and he got the Vikings back to a 4-4 record, and then of course he tears his Achilles because that's the Kirk Cousins experience.
Like, Kirk Cousins is a great guy on and off the field. He was having a spectacular season. Really, he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
Absolutely this year. Yeah, for sure.
I would even say going into this season, like from last season. Like, so that was like my main thing. Just huge disappointment for that. That's a big blow for the Vikings too, starting to claw back from that awful start. And now they're without their starting quarterback, who's top 10 quarterback in the league. They still don't have Jefferson, who will probably not rush back anytime soon.
I think he's getting reevaluated after this week.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Addison gets bumped down significantly.
He still had 82 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah,
well, Kirk Cousins didn't get hurt till the end of the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jordan Addison's still going to be the wide receiver 1. It's just that they can get him the ball.
I think he takes a pretty big hit.
When Justin Jefferson comes back, he's absolutely going to be wide receiver 1. It's not that's not even a question.
I'm talking about Jordan Addison.
Yeah, I know. Jordan Addison's going to be wide receiver 2. He's not going to be wide receiver 1. I thought someone said that Jordan Addison was still going to be a wide receiver 1.
Until Jefferson.
Oh, I thought you said when Jefferson comes back.
No.
Okay, I was about to say.
The world would ever say that.
I don't know. That's why I was questioning it.
Nick, what the heck?
Jordan Addison does have 8 touchdowns.
That will not happen.
No, but yeah, this is like my takeaway is that like the Vikings got the win, but at what cost?
They did go out and get Josh Dobbs, which is a lot better than other
Jaren
alternatives.
Hall.
but
Yeah.
still a significant drop off from Kirk
It
Cousins.
is, but they gave themselves a chance. They've got the Falcons, Saints, Broncos, and Bears in their next 4 weeks.
Those are winnable.
Those are all winnable games for him. If Josh Dobbs he's a smart guy. He'll learn that playbook pretty quick.
He's been average,
Yeah, he's been better than I thought.
and he has a lot more weapons now than he did in Arizona.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they'll be just fine.
really.
Not as good as they would be, but I think they'll be okay.
He'll be
And basically, you
serviceable.
just need a guy who can, for that team, you just need a guy who can get Addison and Jefferson the ball.
Yeah.
And then
'Cause-
after that,
Yeah,
you're good.
I mean-
And Josh Dobbs is, like you said, a smart guy. He's a rocket scientist in college. Like, he knows, like, he can pick up a playbook well. And, all you got to do is just put the football where it needs to be and don't try to do too much. Because with the weapons they have, they don't need to do too much.
He can
Yeah,
be
I
a
mean, their next,
simple guy.
their next 5 games, I can see them losing 1, maybe 2 of them.
So
I'll put them at what? They lost 2. They'd be what?
7
7 and
and
So
6.
it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they would be, what are they right now? 4 and 4.
4. They'd be 7 and 6.
So they'd be, yeah.
that's not bad.
Yeah,
But, I mean, are we looking at like, Kirk Cousins is done for the year? Are they looking at trading him? You think?
He's a free
He's a
agent.
free
after the
agent.
season.
Oh, so they're definitely drafting a quarterback.
We'll see.
Unless they resign
I
him.
think their team is too good to get in that top 5 range where they can draft a Caleb Williams or a Drake
So
May.
then you think they bring back Kirk Cousins?
We'll see. That's going to be the
Probably.
decision they're going to have to make in the
I mean, I
offseason.
think that would be a smart decision because he's not that old and he was playing the best football he's played in his career.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think it's a different topic for a different day, but the thing they're going to have to evaluate is this roster good enough to win a Super Bowl right now? Because if it is, I think they should bring back Kirk Cousins. If it's not, they might have to look at their future.
I think
Offensively, I would say it
could
would
be.
be.
Yeah, I think
Defensively.
offensively it is too, but
Offensively, yes. Defensively,
Defensively.
no.
defensively, absolutely not.
That's what I would say.
Offense is
Although their
good.
defense has been stepping it up the past several weeks.
But still not at contending level defense.
Yeah, I mean, I like this Vikings team. I mean, obviously Kirk Cousins hurts it, but I mean, ultimately, this is a solid team we're looking at.
Mhm.
The Packers, on the other hand, Evan pretty much hit everything.
Yeah, the Packers pretty much they're bad.
They are
They're
off.
not a good team.
They have some serious issues they need to fix now.
The what is that? The NFC
North.
North. It's getting really interesting.
Yeah, it's the Lions division to lose.
It is the Lions.
I mean, yeah, we're still looking at the Lions,
Yeah.
which is unbelievable, but
I can't believe I'm saying that, but it is the Lions division to lose at this point.
I don't know if,
Yeah.
well, we'll hold this till we get to the Lions game.
All right, we'll move on to Nick's favorite team. The Colts ended up losing 38-27 against the Saints. Nick, your thoughts on their
Yeah.
Did Gardner
all
Minshew
my-
have 4 turnovers again?
No, he actually played all right. He had 213, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. So okay, he had an okay game. I mean, it was they made Derek Carr look like prime John Elway, and that's hard to do. Their secondary is non-existent, but that's what happens when you trade away Stephon Gilmore and then your best corner is suspended for the year for gambling, and then you release him. I don't want to harp on Tony Brown too much because he's been receiving a lot of hate on social media, and it's like he is still a human. But he played maybe the worst game I have seen from an NFL corner ever. Rashid Shaheed had 3 catches for 153 yards and a touchdown. He averaged over 50 yards a catch
That's crazy.
on Tony Brown. That is really bad. I don't think I have to say that it's really bad, but that's really bad. Another thing is Jonathan Taylor had 12 carries for 95 yards at the half. He finished the game with 12 carries for 95 yards. Why? Why did that happen? Why did he not touch the ball the entire second half? I understand that Zach Moss is a very competent backup running back, probably one of the best in the league, but Jonathan Taylor is your best offensive player, and he does not touch the ball in the second half against a average run defense. I don't understand. The Colts were up 17-7. They got outscored 35-10 the rest of the game. Season's over. This team is not going anywhere, but they might get a top 5 pick and be in the running for Marvin Harrison Jr., and I'm perfectly okay with that.
That won't happen.
I agree. I don't think they'll be that bad, but I can dream. It's all I have right now.
The latest mock had him going first that I just saw.
Yeah, to Arizona. Because Arizona's not getting rid of Kyler, so if they have one, they're not.
They're so dumb if they do that.
Yeah.
If Caleb Williams is on the table, I think they should absolutely trade Kyler Murray. Unless Kyler Murray comes back and leads the Cardinals to a 7-10 record and has the best statistical season of his career, proportionally.
If he does that this year, then yeah.
I think they should absolutely draft Caleb Williams if they have the number 1 overall pick.
I think they should gun for having 1 and 2 and get them both.
Yeah, that would be terrifying.
Too good. The Texans have been better.
Yeah, the Texans have been better than people thought. I think
the Bears can do that.
Yeah, and then they'll ruin
the Bears
both of them because they're the Bears. But
they should draft Drake May and Caleb Williams, and if one of them doesn't work out,
and have them fight to the death on who gets the starting quarterback job.
Hey, one of them's got to work out, right?
Yeah. I think so. But I'm not gonna Alvin Kamara played good. He had 2 touchdowns, 110 yards, 21 touchdowns.
He's been a stud since coming back.
Yeah. What the heck?
If you're talking fantasy wise, he's been the number 1 PPR running back since coming back.
He has been. That's true.
And guess who has him?
John.
Yeah.
This dang guy doesn't even play. Doesn't even play.
Yeah.
He has 4 running backs and he doesn't play.
He has Kamara, Breece Hall, Taylor. Who else?
He has Hall, Taylor, Kamara, and Barkley.
Oh, yeah.
And he doesn't play. His starting kicker is not on a football team. And he has the Cowboys defense on his bench. Yeah.
Yeah, that's John for you. The Colts are bad. The Saints are not great. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were both goal line rushing touchdowns. No, that's
Jason
not true. One of them's
Jason Hill is the weirdest football player I've ever seen.
He is going to be on TikTok flash shows in about 6 years.
Punt return.
Who's the weirdest football player?
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill.
Oh.
Dude will have a game where he does absolutely nothing. Then he'll have a game where he has 63 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, catches 3 passes.
Yeah.
And then played a little bit of quarterback, threw for 44 yards as well.
And a touchdown.
That's insane.
I don't want to talk about this game anymore. The Colts make me sad again.
Hey, you had a glimmer of hope.
I did have a glimmer of hope.
Hey,
I had
Derek Carr,
for now. Well, ever. That's enough.
Derek Carr didn't look atrocious this game.
Yeah,
Actually,
they made him look like prime John Elway.
What?
He had 310 yards and 2 touchdowns, and most of them were on bombs.
Josh Downs had another good game.
He did have another good game. Josh Downs would be getting a lot more credit if it wasn't for Jordan Addison and Zay Flowers.
Jordan Addison is stud.
Josh Downs just got a +2 overall upgrade in Madden. So
Let's go.
What's he at?
79.
There you go. All right.
Josh Downs is going to be really good. I'm telling you.
The Colts have their wide receiver 1.
They already had their wide receiver 1.
Well, they got a new one.
Michael Pittman Jr. But
they got a new one.
Yeah. Josh Downs is going to be a really good slot receiver for the next decade, I hope.
Yeah. I like Josh Downs a lot. He's really good. Really fun to watch. Helped my fantasy team out a little bit too. Anything else? I think we kind of covered it. Move on to a NFC East showdown. This one's always a good one. This one in particularly was a shootout. The Eagles won 38-31. Both quarterbacks throwing for over 300 yards and both having 4 touchdowns. Sam Howell being one who threw for almost 400 yards and 4 touchdowns while throwing the ball 52 times. Talk about airing it out.
Yeah. I don't know why Sam Howell only plays good against the Eagles. But that just seems to be happening. I will say this though.
Throws the ball an insane amount.
Yeah, I know. I will say this. I do think the Eagles secondary is a legit concern.
They just traded for Kevin Byard, though.
Yeah, I saw that. The rich get richer, but I think the Eagles secondary is a big problem. Not a big problem, but it's concerning, I think, if you're an Eagles
It's
fan.
their biggest problem.
Yeah, it's their biggest problem on a loaded team. But other than that, I mean, the Eagles are the Eagles. Jalen Hurts played phenomenal. DeAndre Swift had a good game. A.J. Brown is arguably the best receiver in the league currently. He also has hands of Velcro. I'm sure you all saw that one-handed catch in the corner of the end zone. But the Commanders are like really weird.
They just got a lot weirder.
Yeah. Like I don't
We'll talk about that later.
They lost to the Bears, and then they are competitive with the Eagles twice, but then they lose to the Giants after scoring one touchdown. They're not a good football team.
They're only good against the Eagles.
Yeah, and they just traded away Chase Young. So,
And Montez Sweat.
Yeah, and Montez Sweat. They're blowing it up. They need a quarterback, unfortunately, because Sam Howell has been all right, but
only against the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say. The Eagles are really good, although I think their secondary is a legitimate concern.
I think they're going to be all right.
I do too. I think they're they have to be the favorite in the NFC now.
They were down though. They were like the Commanders had them down like substantially, and they came back and won.
It took a fourth quarter comeback for the Eagles to pull away.
Yeah, that's crazy. Every time they play each other, that's what happens, and I just have absolutely no idea why.
Division game.
Here's A.J. Brown's stat line last 6 games. 9 catches for 131 yards, 9 catches for 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 catches for 127 yards, 7 catches for 131 yards, 10 catches for 137 yards, a touchdown, 8 catches for 129 and 2 touchdowns. He's the first player in NFL history with 125 plus receiving yards in 6 straight games. In the month of October, he had 40 catches for 700 yards and 5 touchdowns.
That is wild, dude.
He was like, Jalen Hurts, you don't give me the ball, give me the ball. And Jalen Hurts is like, got it. And only
didn't he say that after the Vikings game?
Yeah, and since then he has not put up less than 125.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts was like heard and has been
it's like my bad, bro. I got you.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, but one thing that I think is crazy is like I mentioned it just a minute ago, but if you look at Sam Howell's game stats, 31 attempts, 39 attempts, 29 attempts, 41 attempts, 51 attempts, 23 attempts, 42 attempts, 52 attempts. They pass the ball so much in that offense.
Yeah.
And it's either really good where he throws for 3 or 4 touchdowns, or it's like he did against the Bills where he threw 4 picks. It's very hot and cold with Sam Howell.
Yeah, a lot of the time the Commanders need to throw the ball because they're down. But that's still not really an excuse. It's like, why are you down? Like, how are you gonna fix not being down early in games?
You got to play better football.
Yeah, they don't have the personnel to play better football. Though they're a bad team.
Yeah.
All right, shall we talk about the best game of the week?
Giants, Jets, baby.
That is, we are not even discussing that atrocity.
That game.
I'm talking about. Nick, don't even start. We're not talking
that
about
game.
That game.
Was
we're not wasting
bad.
our time.
That's all I will say about that game.
We've talked for over an hour, and we're still 4 or 5 games left. So,
oh my gosh.
I'm talking about the Bengals beating the 49ers 31-17, and Joe freaking Burrow being back, baby.
There it is. Joe Burrow is back. You all better get on the Bengals hype train or get off the tracks because she is on the prowl. All right. You just got who-dayed.
The Niners
Couldn't
did
have said it better myself.
indeed get
The Niners
who-dayed.
lost Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
They got
Okay.
who-dayed.
Do we first
Early.
want to start talking about the Bengals being good or the struggles of the 49ers? Which one do we talk? Want to talk
I'll talk about the
first?
struggles of the
So I think
49ers.
All right.
I don't think that they're as good as anybody thinks they are. Brock Purdy's not that good.
Yeah, Brock Purdy has.
He just has
revealed
the
himself.
greatest weapons in the NFL on one team for some reason. And the defense is also the greatest defense in the NFL, and they have the most weapons. He's
Now,
just
see,
been
that-
gifted. Like,
How does the other 31 general managers allow this team to be constructed? This is an unfair football team. Like, this is the best defense in football. This is the best offense, weapons from top to bottom, probably in football. With one of the
Debo,
best
Ayuk,
defenses in
Kittle,
football.
CMC.
And that O line.
Like, how does this happen? How is this possible?
Put me at quarterback, and they'd win a couple games.
I mean, you could put most people there, and you could probably still win a football game. Like, I mean, that's just how good. Like, I personally, I'm not hating on Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy's not bad. I'm just saying that that's how good the rest of this team is, and that's how good of a coach they have too. Like, this is a ridiculously good football team. It is outrageous how good this team is.
I think that Lou Aranimo, or whatever his name is, I'm not saying the defense coordinator for the Bengals just proved that he is just legit.
He is a mad scientist.
Best
And he will be a
best DC in the league.
Yeah.
He is by
Yeah,
far
I mean,
the best coordinator in the NFL.
Yeah, I've said that for the past couple years. I think that one of the bigger reasons for the Bengals' success has been Lou Anarumo's defense.
You
Like-
moron.
Yeah, like, well, I'm not saying that like Joe Burrow has been like he's obviously been one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but
No, the Bengals defense is been very good.
yeah, the
And-
Bengals do not go to the Super Bowl and go to the AFC Championship game without Lou Anarumo as their defensive coordinator.
I probably would agree with that.
Yeah,
But
like
the other thing that's kind of impressive is just the fact that the Bengals don't really have like the 49ers defense, you know? Like, I mean, Trey
They
Hendrickson
don't have,
is
they
fourth
don't
in
have
the
the
league in sacks.
names that the Niners have.
Yeah, you know? But they're still one of the best defenses in the NFL. Like, winning all like
They have Hendrickson, and I
Hubbard.
think Logan Wilson is.
Logan Wilson
unbelievably
is
underrated.
criminally underrated.
I think he's one of the better linebackers in the league, in my opinion. But
He is,
besides those
for
two,
sure.
like,
But
they
like,
don't have any like crazy names.
yeah, and like the thing with the defense is that like they'll get like statistically speaking, they might not be the best because like they will give up the yards, but like when the chips are down, they always come through.
they always make a massive play at
Yeah.
least once a game.
Like
And-
that's what I'm
and,
saying. Like when it is like crunch time and it is needed that like they have to step up, they always do.
Yeah,
Every
just-
single time they
just
step up.
ask Sam Hubbard. Like
Every single time.
Yeah.
And the Bengals defense is legitimately bend but don't break. Like they will give up all the yards and everything else, but they will step up and make a play at the last second that it is needed.
yeah,
Every time they do.
I'm gonna go back to the Niners here for just a second. They did not have Debo or Trent Williams. I do think that does play a factor because I think those are two of the 5 best players on the whole team, and that's saying a lot when you have a team that's as crazy as the Niners. But I think Brock Purdy has revealed that he cannot win games on his own.
Yes.
They need to be healthy come playoff time, or they will not contend really for the NFC. I do think Brock Purdy is all right. I do think there's legitimate talent there. But I mean, in his last 3 games, he has 3 touchdowns and 5 picks.
Yeah.
All 3 of those being losses.
Yeah, all 3 of those being losses.
Yeah, like I don't think that Brock Purdy is bad by any means. I just think, like you said, he does need to have a team around him. Like he's got to have those guys, you know, that the Niners have.
Yeah.
But I will say that to contend with your point, Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams, yeah, those are big pieces, but I think with those guys, the Bengals still win. The Bengals dominated.
I do think the Bengals still would have won that game. They played the most complete game of the season.
Dominated from start to finish.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow is officially back.
Yeah. Joe Burrow played one of the best games I've seen out of a quarterback in a long time.
He had like what?
He went 28 of 32, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
What is it?
Again,
and he had like 40 or 50 yards rushing.
Yeah, against a top 2 defense in the league.
Yeah.
Like it was not even. It didn't even look hard. He diced them apart, and it just didn't even look like it was difficult for him.
Yeah.
Like Joe Burrow and the Bengals are fish. Like this is Bengals football.
Yeah.
Like,
you all have alluded to it this week. They play the Bills at home. That's going to be a fantastic game.
Yeah.
They never won a Sunday night game.
Never a Sunday night home game.
Yeah.
I honestly, like, even if the Bengals lose this game, like, as long as they don't get destroyed, I will still say they're back.
Yeah, they need to keep stacking up wins.
I don't think they're going to lose, but, like, you know.
This may be bold, and I don't know, but I mean, I could see this game not being in competition by the second half.
I could see this game being like the Niners game, honestly. Like, I could see the Bengals just slicing through them.
And if you think about it, that Niners game could have been 38-17 so easily if we just don't throw the ball to the worst player we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they fumbled near the goal line.
The Bengals could have put over 40 points up. They left
and
at least 2 scores on the bench.
Yeah. They left 2 scores on the table, and they still beat the Niners by 14. You got to think that game could have easily been 38-17.
And that is without that's without Evan McPherson missing a field goal. So that was
on the announcers.
That's true. There was at minimum 10 points left on the field at minimum because right before halftime the Bengals threw it to a man that should not be on their team.
Well, I mean, if you want to say that, the Niners also left 7 points on the table. Brock Purdy threw a pick in the red zone.
But
picks and fumbles are different.
Yeah, that's the
49ers. That doesn't count.
Yeah, it's the 49ers that did it, so we shouldn't talk about turnovers.
No, man. That fumble should not have happened. Like, that play should not have happened. Like,
the ball going to him should happen.
That should have, they should have scored on that possession wholeheartedly.
With the way that Mixon was going and having T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, the only reason Irv Smith should ever have his 2 hands touch a football is if, 1, he is wide open and nobody else on the side of the field is him, or 2, it gets deflected to him or something. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
That was the worst play call I think we could have done in that scenario.
Yeah. Besides the jet sweep. Yes.
Like, that was really bad. Like Zach Taylor was sitting there okay, we have Joe Mixon, we have Jamar Chase, we have T. Higgins, we even have Tyler Boyd, and we even have Joe Burrow. And we're on the 2-yard line, and Joe Mixon's been running the ball effectively. So let's line up in the shotgun and throw an arrow route to the worst player on our offense.
Irv Smith.
I'm not sure what that was at all.
I am very mad that we didn't go out and at least attempt to get a different tight end. Like, I wish that we would have I wish I would have heard a rumor that we were trying to get Kyle Pitts.
Irv Smith was absolutely not the answer at all. The Bengals blew chunks in the first round of the draft this year. Like, that was bad. Like, you guys were all like, "Oh, this isn't bad. Weaver's over." No, that was bad. That was a bad pick. But that's the first bad pick that I've seen the Bengals have in a little while. So I won't go too far there. But they should have pursued a tight end more than they did.
Yeah. All right, here's my 2 cents of the game. I'm going to start off with this crazy Kyle Shanahan stat. Kyle Shanahan is now 1 for 31 when trailing by 3 points during the fourth quarter. He's 0-37 in his career when trailing by 8 or more points in the fourth quarter.
I was going to bring that up, and I forgot about it. I saw that too.
So if he's losing in the fourth quarter, odds are you're going to win the game. which is insane.
That is pretty crazy, actually.
Also, I think that we need to do some serious reevaluating of what Brock Purdy is. Everyone has hyped this guy up to be this great, this really good quarterback who is obviously he was in MVP conversations.
He was
earlier
first
this year.
month in the season. He was absolutely in the
He was
MVP talk.
he was in MVP conversations earlier this year, and he's dropped off since then, obviously. But I think we all know now that the only reason is because of the team around him. And I think that's been the norm for 49ers quarterbacks for the last couple of years. I said the same thing last year with Jimmy G. And if Brock Purdy doesn't start picking it up here, I might be saying the same thing about him as well, that he's just benefiting. He's just been given the keys to a Lambo, and all I has to do is not crash it, and he's been crashing it lately. So.
I think that they will never want to work a Super Bowl, even with the talent they have, due to the fact that they value every other position except for quarterback. I mean, you got to think, on the defensive line, they traded for Chase Young, and they have Bosa. They signed him the biggest deal ever. They have Fred Warner, and then on offense they have Debo. They kept him. They got CMC. They do nothing about their quarterback situation, and every year it comes down to their quarterback selling the game. And until they get a guy that doesn't sell the game, I think trading Trey Lance is stupid.
Yeah, I still don't like
I'm not saying that was their guy or anything. I think Purdy should have had the job, no doubt. But I think that with where they drafted him at, they needed to either get a really good quarterback in return or let him try to play, because they wasted their pick on him.
I think that the 49ers taking Trey Lance at 3 was a aggressively bad draft, because I think Trey Lance is not good. I think he is an absolute bust right now.
When have you ever seen him play?
I don't think Lucas, we had this discussion last year. I said I'd take Jimmy G over him last year. I said,
obviously not now. I would take anybody over Jimmy. I'd take Pickett over Jimmy G.
I would not go that far, but I'm not a big Trey Lance guy. I don't think he's
played 3 games ever.
I know, but he's been in the league.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah, he's played in the league 4 years at this point. If he had something there, he would have got more than one chance.
Yeah, I'm not a big Trey. That in my opinion, that was a bad draft pick. But
I don't even think it's an opinion. They traded 3 first-rounders to get up to number 3.
They traded basically Jalen Waddle, picks to be Tyreek Hill, and picks to be Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, for Trey Lance.
Okay.
Yeah, that was.
I understand, but I think that if you're going to do that, you have to give him a chance. And I understand that, Purdy was crazy, but you have to know that he just wasn't going to be their guy. They can't beat good teams with him. They have to understand that. And I think that if you're going to be a team that you're not going to value the quarterback position as high, and you take a quarterback at 3 and trade everything ever to get him, you need to give him a shot. He's played 2 games.
I think that they do need to figure out the quarterback spot. Personally, I like Brock Purdy. Every quarterback has a rough stretch. Joe Burrow had one at the start of the year this year. It happens. I'm not ready to sell out Brock Purdy. I'm not ready to sell out on him yet, unless this continues for most of the season. But I do agree, though, that it does make you wonder if the 49ers actually invested in a very good quarterback, whether through the draft or what could they be? Could they really they could very well win the Super Bowl if they got an actually very good quarterback, But
was there any good quarterback taken after Lance? Does anybody know?
Mac Jones, which is not great,
Justin
but he's better than
he's not good.
Yeah.
Next.
That whole
Justin
quarterback
Fields
class
and Mac
was awful, other than Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, that was a terrible class other than Trevor Lawrence. But the point being is that my thing, I'm not done with Brock Purdy at all, actually. But if we're looking elsewhere, like it does make you wonder if they got a quarterback that was not a system quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But by no means do I think
they got a good quarterback.
What?
Like if they got a good quarterback.
Yeah, but by no means is Trey Lance that guy. By no means.
Well, you don't have to worry about that because he's no longer
He
on the team.
hasn't had the shot, and they were never going to put him in because of Brock Purdy's record at the time.
I think Brock Purdy's better.
That is. There's nothing to compare there. There's one guy who's played and one guy who got hurt.
Dude,
That's it.
Michael
That's all you
Thomas
can
has played more football over the past 4 years than Trey Lance.
At some point, in
You have to cut your losses.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't care how good of an arm he has. At some point, if he really is that guy, he's gonna play in a 4-year span. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude's had 4 years. I mean, the Cowboys aren't even giving him a shot, and they're starting Dak Prescott.
Dak's been playing all right.
Okay, now stop that. Stop that. Do not act like Dak Prescott is Brock Purdy or
Dak Prescott is not a good quarterback.
Dak Prescott's been playing really well.
I do not
really Brock Purdy.
He
there is no scenario
he didn't play 5 weeks.
Let me tell you something. There is about 3 quarterbacks in the league that they would play that you put them on the roster that they would play over Dak Prescott. They think Dak Prescott's not the problem.
Well, they think,
and that's their problem.
That's not true, though. Dak Prescott is not a good quarterback.
He's better than.
But they're never going to play Trey Lance because of Dak Prescott in front of them. No matter if Trey Lance was the next Patrick Mahomes, they don't care. They do not care. They just love number 4.
Who's going to play Trey Lance then?
I think if he would have went to the Vikings, they would have played now.
Like, I mean, yeah, he would have probably played for the Vikings or the Bucks, but like,
Falcons?
I was not high on Trey Lance from the start of it. I don't really think there's much else to prove here.
I agree on that. I don't think you should have drafted D2 quarterback number 3 overall. I fully believe that.
Yeah.
But I also think if you're going to do that, you need to give him a shot.
Well, they tried to, and he just got it's like, I mean, I realize that it's like injuries and whatnot, but like at some point, like the dude's not playing. Like you gotta go. You gotta go a different route here, you know?
Yeah. All right, we got to move on because we have 4 games left and we've been talking for an hour and a half.
We might have to start cutting games out.
So
there were 16 games this week. So
we're gonna speed through this real quick. All right, we got Seahawks Browns. Seahawks won off of a game-winning touchdown by JSN.
Thank
God. That was crazy.
Big headline was Deshaun Watson didn't play again.
I mean, just thank the good Lord for this.
That
was
might
amazing.
The worst trade in NFL history. I'm not exaggerating at all.
Deshaun Watson is terrible. Like he is worse than Mac Jones. I will.
Not only is he terrible,
awful,
but he has no incentive to improve because his contract is fully guaranteed.
No, he
has no incentive to improve, nor does he have an incentive to want to play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was the worst move.
He should be playing.
That was the worst move that I have seen in 20 years of living and being an NFL fan. That is the worst thing that I have ever seen in the NFL.
That is why, unless it's like a Joe Burrow type of mentality type of player and Tom Brady, you never give them a guaranteed contract. That's just why. Because once they get that, they don't care how they do. He could care less about how he does. He's going to go home and take a bath and some money and then sleep on his money and then go to the practice and not play and still enjoy his money.
Yeah, like Deshaun Watson should not be in the NFL. 1, because of his allegations and that crap. And 2, because he is straight up bad at football. Like Deshaun Watson is awful. And that was the worst thing I had ever seen an NFL franchise do in 20 years.
That's not true. That's not true. he could be good at football. He was good at football.
He had a stretch of about a year or two.
No, listen. He took the Houston Texans to almost the Super Bowl.
It was literally the first and second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, but they were up 24-0 on the Chiefs, and if they had closed that game out, they would have played the Titans. And they probably win that game too. So
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, and that was the Houston Texans. Besides DeAndre Hopkins, who in the world can you name that was on that roster?
The guy named J.J. Watt, who's going to be a Hall of Famer.
No, he wasn't a Hall of Famer at that time.
I would have said D-Hop.
He
was not.
D-Hop.
Yeah, he was not playing. J.J. Watt was not playing at a Hall of Fame level at that point in time. This was like 2019 we're talking about.
Okay, whatever. Deshaun Watson sucks.
Yeah.
And
now he does, yes.
I think that was a bad move from the start. I don't even think
Yeah.
That was just bad altogether. Like, even if he no, that was a terrible move.
It's gonna go down as like a generationally awful trade in sports history.
I just told you that's the worst thing I've seen in sports history since I've been living. Like,
it's bad when
sports.
every other NFL owner has like unofficially come together and say, yeah, we're not going to repeat this, because Lamar Jackson didn't get a fully guaranteed contract. Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert didn't get fully guaranteed contracts. Like, it's bad when it doesn't get repeated.
Like, can you name something that has happened in the world of sports that is worse than that in 20 years?
Like, trade-wise?
In general.
I'd
Not
say
off the top of my head.
The Brooklyn Nets and Boston Celtics trade.
Yeah, but that wasn't one single trade. That was a series of moves. It was?
It was the Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce for like a bunch of picks.
Oh, yeah,
it turned into Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, like all these freaking all-stars.
It's bad.
But is that even worse than the Deshaun Watson move?
I don't think it is because Deshaun is a known terrible person.
Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett retired like a year after that. They didn't play at all.
Deshaun Watson hasn't played either.
Yeah, I still think it's the worst.
I just don't know why
all
you
in
gave
all,
him that
it was an
contract.
awful trade. Awful contract.
All right, what's the next game?
I mean, that was just amazing that the Seahawks won. Just
the Seahawks are good. The Seahawks are one. I think the Seahawks are one of the more underrated teams in the league. I think the Seahawks are really good.
But for so many reasons, that game was just. I mean, that game needed to happen for everybody's health.
All right, next up we got the Ravens squeaking by the Cardinals 31-24. Trey McBride had a breakout game, 10 catches, 95 yards, and a touchdown. And yeah, I mean, I feel like there was nothing really. Gus Edwards had 80 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's pretty impressive. And the Cardinals now have the first overall pick.
It's true. I don't know if this game was squeaking by. A lot of the Cardinals' points came in garbage time. Like, they recovered an onside kick. They scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter. It does not really tell the final score. The Ravens had
going into the fourth, it was 21-7, and then they scored 17 in the fourth.
The Ravens had firm control this game for about 95% of it. And the Cardinals are back to being the worst team in the league, which I think we all said before the season started.
Yep.
Yes.
So, yeah. The Ravens are really good.
It's not the outcome that I was hoping to see, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's not the perfect weekend for you Bengals fans, but
but I didn't expect for that game to even be close, so it gives me hope.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't either. I was just, there was the dream was out there. As an American citizen, the dream was out there that the Baltimore Ravens would lose this game.
As an American citizen.
All right. I think that's all we really need to talk about that one. Next game, we got the Denver Broncos breaking their game curse streak it was of them losing the Chiefs. They won 24-9. Russell Wilson has been one of the better quarterbacks this year, if you look at his stats. Why are you giving me that face, Weaver? His stats, if you look at his stats compared to Patrick Mahomes, they're almost identical.
Yeah, he has 1,600 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 4 picks. He's been playing really well. Yeah.
And Pat has 2,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 8 picks. So
Well, why
they're
the
very
heck was the Broncos
yeah, so-
terrible game?
Yeah, so Wilson has played as good, if not better, than Patrick Mahomes so far.
and Patrick Mahomes is the leader in MVP race right now. So I think that's not.
he
shouldn't be,
but-
Well, I mean, it's the
that-
NFL. Everybody is just, you know how they are with Mahomes. So
Oh
Yeah.
no, I don't.
You were the same way until like a year ago.
no,
So-
I love Mahomes, but I do get a little tired of all of this after a little while.
Yeah,
He
Javonte Williams has been
He's in
picking
one
it up.
MVP race, and that's
He's had a
fact.
good last 2 games.
For context, the last time the Broncos beat the Chiefs, Kevin Durant was still with the Thunder, and still
Yeah,
had
that's
his
freaking
had
crazy.
his dignity. That is crazy to me.
16
about.
games in the NFL. That's crazy.
Against one team
That is unbelievable.
over not even like over the span of like 30 years or something. They play each other twice a year.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they finally snapped it. Props to them, you know?
Yeah. Barack Obama was still president.
Yeah, that is
When-
ridiculous.
The Broncos last beat the Chiefs. That is insane. But shout out to the Broncos for breaking the curse.
shout out.
Sean
All right,
Payton,
these
go.
next
That's
2
right.
games. I'm just gonna quick summary because they're really not that exciting. Chargers beat the Bears 30-13. The Bears offense was
Nobody
putrid.
cares.
Austin Eckler balled out, and Justin Herbert looked good as well. The Raiders and the Lions, we talked about it. Jimmy G is atrocious. They fired Josh McDaniels, thank the Lord. The Lions
Yeah.
are contenders. Jameer Gibbs has been absolutely balling out these last 2 games.
Finally.
He's good
And
ball.
yeah, that's really all I want to say about those 2 games because I want to move on. Because the Thursday night game has already started and we're still going. But I just mentioned it. The Raiders fired Josh McDaniels and their general manager. So all around, we believe those are the right move.
That
Oh,
should have
absolutely.
happened last year.
Yeah,
When Josh McDaniels lost to Jeff Saturday, they should have locked him out of the office.
yeah. And then real quick, I just want to ask your guys' thoughts on some of the big trades that happened. We've mentioned a couple of them throughout here, but obviously we had Chase Young getting traded from the Commanders to the 49ers for a 2024 third. What'd you guys think about that?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Why do
the
people agree to
Niners,
these trades?
yeah, the Niners are just all in. They traded Trent Williams and Chase Young to the 49ers for I think it was combined like 2/3 and a 5th round pick.
Yeah, it was some absurd package.
It's
It's getting
so
footies.
stupid. Yeah. But I think it shows that the Niners are all in
Mhm.
this season. I think they know that their window is about a year or 2 longer with a lot of their guys getting Trent Williams and company getting a little bit up there in age.
Mhm.
But yeah, their defense just got that much scarier.
Then Montez Sweat got traded from also the Commanders to the Bears for a 2024 second. I like that trade. I think that gives them a lot of like edge rushing help, which what they desperately needed. And I mean, Montez Sweat is young still.
I don't know unless they plan to sign him. I don't get that for the Bears. But if they plan to sign him, then great trade.
Well, they probably
Yeah.
do plan to sign him
They have the money for it.
since he's young, and yeah, they have
Yeah.
$10 million in cap.
The Bears are always a wild card.
It's true.
Then we have Kevin Byard going from the Titans to the Eagles for Terrell Edmonds, 2024 fourth and a 2024 sixth. Basically, kind of Nick touched on it, but their secondary's been not as great, and they just got a significant upgrade, adding an All-Pro safety. So
I think the Niners and Eagles are just like on a collision course again
yeah,
this season with the moves that they're making.
they are.
Don't sleep with the Lions.
Well, I mean, we'll see. It's still the Lions. Similar to the Cowboys, I'm going to say that they're the Lions until they prove me otherwise.
Yeah.
Fair.
All right, it's prediction time.
Oh,
So as we're recording, this game's actually already started, but it's 0-0, and there's only 12 minutes in the first quarter, so only a couple minutes have passed. But who's winning tonight's game? Titans Steelers.
I'm taking the Titans.
Same.
No, the Steelers are going to win this game. Unfortunately, at home, prime time, their defense will do enough. The Steelers are gonna take the W here.
The Titans are going to take a dump on their Steeler logo.
I think the Titans are going to win. I think Will Levis is going to have another good game.
I'm lone wolfing the
No,
Steelers right now.
Yes.
Joel also had the Steelers.
Okay.
Joel
all right.
sent me his prediction, so Joel had the Steelers. Then we got Dolphins Chiefs in the 9:30
In Frankfurt, baby.
in Frankfurt.
I don't really think this is a hard pick, though, to be honest.
What's the pick?
Okay, what's your pick?
I'm taking the Chiefs here, although I think it is going to be a good game.
I think I'll also go with the Chiefs. I think that the Dolphins secondary is a bit suspect, and Mahomes and company will get back on track. It'll be a shootout, though.
It's going to be a great game. Hopefully a close game.
I got the Chiefs.
James. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I think their offense is on another level right now, and I think they're going to continue that. And I think the Chiefs are beatable. And Joel also has an offense.
Okay.
Next, we got Seahawks Rams. Sorry, Seahawks Ravens.
Another sweet. This game's going under the radar.
And the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yes, the Battle of the Birds.
I'm taking them Birds from Seattle. The Seahawks bringing it home. They're going to stay hot.
I'm going to take the Ravens solely for the fact that I trust Lamar Jackson in big games more than Geno Smith. Although this is going to be a game that goes under the radar. I think both these teams are really good.
I'm also going to take the Ravens because I think Lamar Jackson is obviously a lot better than Geno, and he's been playing at an MVP level. And that running game was really good last week as well. I think they're going to win. Joel also has the Ravens winning. Lucas, who do you have? Ravens or Seahawks? I don't know if you can hear us. Say that again. We'll go. I think. What do you think you said? Ravens.
I think you said Ravens.
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Seahawks. There you go. Okay. I was going to say, I can't be the only one that picks them, man.
All right. Next up, we got Cardinals Browns. This one should be fairly. Clayton Tune starting quarterback, so that should be fairly easy. Browns.
Yeah, the Browns will win this game.
Browns. Yeah. Bucks. Texans. Yes,
Kind of.
we can.
I'm taking the Texans here. Get back on track of the horrendous loss.
Yeah, I'll take Tampa Bay. I don't know. This game's kind of a vibe pick. I think the Buccaneers will come out on top.
Steelers already scored, by the way.
How is this possible?
Najee Harris had a touchdown.
I'll go the Texans as well.
Yeah.
Joel's going with the Bucks. We got
This one can
Bears Saints. Bears Saints up next.
Bears Saints. Give me the
Justin
Saints.
Fields is still hurt, right?
Yeah, give me the Saints.
I'm going Saints.
Yeah, the Saints should win this game.
Joel's got Saints as well. We got Vikings Falcons. Jaron Hall is going to be starting this game, not Josh Dobbs.
I'll take the Falcons.
Even though they should not win.
The Falcons are starting Tyler Heineke.
Taylor.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, give me the Falcons.
What'd you say, Lucas? Falcons?
I'm taking Vikings.
Vikings. I'll go Falcons. I think Jaron Hall is going to be awful. What did Joel have? Joel had the Falcons. We got Packers Rams.
Seems like every game is either really good or really terrible.
Yeah.
This week.
Give me the Rams here.
I'll go
Packers.
I'll go with the Packers and Lambeau.
Actually, I'm switching my pick then. If it's home, give me the Packers.
I'm going Packers because I do not believe Matt Stafford's going to play.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Joel has the Rams, lone Rams.
Okay.
We got Commanders, Patriots.
Commanders.
Commanders.
I'll go with the Patriots.
I'm going to go with the Patriots as well. I think the Commanders are just selling their season after those trades. And Joel had the Patriots. Colts, Panthers. Oh, God. This is a terrible game.
Who?
Colts, Panthers.
Colts, Panthers.
Oh my
on 4
god.
o'clock. Yeah, as
Yeah.
much as I have little faith in the Colts, I do think they will win this game.
Colts for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Colts. Lucas,
Although I don't
Colts or Panthers?
Oh, I said Colts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I don't know if I really want them to win this game. I want to get in Marvin Harrison Jr. range.
Joel said Panthers.
What?
Yes, no jinx, no jinx.
Then we have an even worse game: the Giants versus the Raiders with
This
Aiden
is
O'Connell.
Oh my god.
Can this game not be played?
So we got
I
Tyrod
think
Taylor.
They just tell
Tyrod
both
Taylor
teams they get a
versus
tie
Aiden
and they go to
O'Connell.
next week.
I don't
Sorry,
care
no.
the slightest
Tyrod
who-
Taylor's is Matt or what's his face? Daniel Jones back?
Daniel Jones. I think they said that he was going to try to play. I think they said he was going to try to play Week 10. So I don't even know if
Okay.
he's playing. This
So yeah,
Raiders.
this is going to be an atrocious game. I'm
Raiders.
going with the Raiders, but I,
I
think
don't
it's
even
gonna
know who those
7-0.
teams are going to start at quarterback, so I don't even know where to start.
Just no contact. I think they're going to tie.
I
I want
have no
Devontae
clue
Adams to do well. So I'm
what
gonna go
players
Raiders.
are on these two teams, but give me the Raiders.
I like the Giants for whatever
Why?
reason. I don't know.
Um,
Saquon's going to have a legacy game. Kayvon Thibodeau is going to keep up his good season.
Yeah. Joel said the Raiders. All right. Sunday, another good game. Sunday night. Eagles Cowboys, always a good one.
That's not the
It's
Sunday night game.
4:25.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to
Oh.
tell.
Eagles,
Sunday afternoon.
Cowboys.
Because for me, I have the Bengals at the top because they're my favorite team. So it's like the last game on here, even though it's not the Sunday night game.
Eagles.
Give me the Eagles,
Eagles.
Cowboys. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Joel said Eagles.
Nah, I can't pick the Cowboys. It's in Philly. I'll go with the Eagles. I was really tempted to, but I'm not going to.
All right. Now we got the Sunday night game. Bills, Bengals.
Bengals.
It's gonna be a great game, and the Bengals are gonna win it.
Bengals.
I think that after what happened last year, the Bills will come in inspired and ready to win this game for their brother. And there's always like one game a month where the Bills come in and just play like a Super Bowl team. I think this is that week. I'm going to take the Bills in this game.
Lucas,
That's a shocker that you picked the Bills. I'm
yeah,
so surprised.
no one's surprised at
I
this.
didn't
But
see
Lucas,
that
remember
coming.
how?
I know why he picked the Bills. We all know why he picked the Bills.
Because he can't pick the Bengals in good
He
conscience.
hates rooting or saying anything good about teams that we like that he doesn't like.
He does not like he is a Bengals
Not,
and a Burrow
not
hater.
true. I've
It
said
would be
this.
it could be Raiders, Bengals, and he choose Raiders. So I don't really care what
I
he said.
picked
Again,
when they
I
went
have
to the
stopped
Super
to care
Bowl.
what
I
you think.
picked the Raiders in the wild card round. That's true.
Yeah, like that. There's your point. And Lucas, remember how you said last night that it's getting to the point now where anything Nick says, you just don't care at all.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't.
You all are going to be
I
real
actually-
mad when the Bills beat the Bengals 34-17.
no. See, Nick, here's
On
the thing:
Sunday
you're
night.
taking them because we can't all pick them. Like you are the one that has to be different. and be
Every
wrong.
single time
Yeah,
I've
okay.
picked the Bengals this
Next
year, they've
game.
lost.
I can't listen to Nick. Next game.
Well, who did Joel?
Joel had the Bengals up.
Yeah, because of course you all are going to pick the Bengals. Because the
Who
Bengals
Stop.
win.
I picked against the Bengals last week. I said the 49ers were going to destroy them. Or I said
I
they were
was
going
the
to win
only
them
one
by
that
like
picked
two.
for the
like,
Bengals
two
last
touchdowns.
week.
Yeah, I said the Bengals were going to lose by 3 scores. That was rough.
Again,
That ain't well.
I don't care what you think because you most likely are just going to be dead wrong. So I just don't.
Hey, I won $23 off
Like
of 50
Nick's
cents
Ohio
last night.
State, Michigan State take.
Barely.
Why was Ohio State favored by 21 and they won by 90?
That's just
All right, last game of
Next,
the week.
next.
We got Chargers Jets Monday night.
Chargers. I mean,
It's
again, another. Those are just two teams I don't want to watch play anymore because they've just been on too much.
A lot
the
bet-
NFL doesn't care about their fans.
Dude, you want to talk about rough? Look at next Sunday night. Jets Raiders.
Why?
And they're
Good
not
Lord.
flexing it. The deadline passed today. They're not flexing that game out of Sunday Night Football.
Dude, the primetime games for next week are egregious. Panthers,
It's
Bears.
Broncos, Bills,
Jets, Raiders,
and
Broncos,
Panthers,
Bills.
Bears.
Dude, that is bad.
Oh my, it's so terrible.
mean-
I'm gonna take the Jets in this game.
I'm
I think the
gonna
Jets
boycott
are.
and not even watch that game.
Yeah, I think the Jets
I
are
won't watch it.
trying to play well enough for Aaron Rodgers to come back. I think that's kind of the rallying cry of their season. And the Chargers are very inconsistent.
I'm going to take the Chargers here. I just feel like they've got a little bit more than the Jets have in the tank right now. But I think it'll honestly be a close game.
Chargers just because Herbert's better than Wilson.
Yeah.
I'll go Jets because I really like their defense, and I think Brees Hall is going to have a really big game like he has been. And Joel also picked the Jets.
All right.
So that'll wrap it up for this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like this video, and we'll see you guys next week for week 10. Peace.